Hello and welcome to Productive with Patty. My name is Patty and I'm going to be showing you today my mini office. Now, this is probably more than you might need, or maybe it's less than you need. It's completely up to you, but I just wanted to show you my version of like a little mini portable office that I can take with me wherever I am in the house. I'm just using this hanging toiletry bag that I got on Amazon, and I really like it because of these side pockets. In this side pocket here, I normally have my phone, but I'm using my phone to film, so I won't be able to show you that today, but I keep this side pocket open so that I can put my phone in there. And then on this side, I have some index cards. These are great for just notes. When I'm watching TV or watching anything like a class or anything, maybe outside in the living room where I don't have my notebook open with me, I always keep index cards here, and then also a pen just on the side here so that I can just jot down a quick note if I need to. And I'm gonna just try to see if I can open this up so you can see it. I'm going through the outside pockets first. So there's two side pockets, and then there's also this zipper pocket. In this pocket, I usually just keep a cleaning cloth for my screens. Now in the side pockets here, if you can see that, let me check. So in the side pockets here, I just keep, this is my little highlighter that I use when I'm reading books. It's just a Crayola crayon, and I like it because it's really light and easy to highlight something without leaving too many marks in a book. And my bone folder, I don't use this all the time, but it's something that I sort of keep looking for when I do need it. I never seem to know where it is, so I decided to put it in my little portable office so that I always have eyes on it. I have a regular highlighter here, a pencil, an eraser, and then on this side, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but there's this mesh pocket, and in here I have extra strings for my traveler's notebook. Then on the other side, I have a bunch of highlighters. Now, I don't use them too often, but I do like to have them for when I'm reviewing my journals. So I do color code some things in my journal. Other times I just use whatever color is appealing to me at the moment, but I do like to highlight my journal to call out certain thoughts or ideas that I might have had. And I also have a couple extra pens here, and then I have on this mesh pocket side, I have my friction pens, friction highlighters, which are erasable highlighters, and I use that in my planner. I like to use the friction highlighters in my planner because they're very light, and I don't like to have too much things going on in my planner other than the things that are coming up. Now inside, there's this top flap, has two mesh pockets here, and I just have like a roll of regular tape, 2 rolls of washi tape. This isn't for decorative purposes really, it's really just to tape stuff on. And then I also have a couple of big paper clips and this little key screwdriver set in here. Then in this bottom section, I have my mini stapler and my mini tape measure. Okay, now inside I have a bunch of little things here. So In here, this is my note card tickler. Just move this on the side for a second. And inside of it is my tickler file and a bunch of sort of staple type recipes. And all this is just, if you don't know what a tickler file is, it was created by, or made popular by, I should say, David Allen in his book, Getting Things Done. And it's really just the months of the year, and then one card for every day of the month. And the idea is you put things behind the days that you want to remember to do. So for me, I have my planner. That's where things go that I absolutely am going to do or need to do for the week. For my note card tickler, I'll do things that are, I'll add things that are more sort of optional, things to keep in mind throughout the day. So for example, on Mondays, so I have a card for each day of the week, and I just move this card to the next Monday. So after today's done, I'll move the date card in the back, and then I will put this into the next Monday. Okay. Now, what this is just really simple things that I want to keep in mind for today. So I do like to do meal prep on Mondays because then the food lasts all the way through the end of the week. I get a lot of creative work done on Mondays also. That's just personally what I found for me. I'm more creative on Mondays and Tuesdays than the rest of the week. So I try to get as much creative type work done on those days. I also need to do some admin type work, like checking my emails. I do not check my email on the weekend. If I do, it's really just a quick glance, but I don't process through my emails at all on the weekend. So Mondays, I just go through and see if there's anything in there that I need to get back to anybody on. And then I have sort of a zone that I'm working on, just tidying up. So on Mondays, it's the bathroom. So I'll scrub the sink while I'm brushing my teeth. I'll wipe down the counters. After I take a shower, I'll scrub down the shower, wipe the mirrors. I'll also check to see if, do I need to refill the soap, change the towels, anything to do with the bathroom. Anytime I'm in there, I'll keep an eye, like what needs to be changed, what needs to be updated, what needs to be put away, what needs to be fixed. And so that's all I do on Monday. I don't worry about anything else. Okay. And then I have other sort of areas for the rest of the house throughout the week. And then I just keep it in this pouch. You could use a card file, but I like to have it in the pouch because it's just more portable and just, to me, a little bit more friendly, I guess you could say. So I have that in here. Now the next thing I have in here are my morning cards. And I have this again in a little cute Minnie Mouse pouch that I had, my mom gave me. And what it is just, 30 cards that are things that I want to keep in mind for the day. And I look at these cards every single day. I just flip through them. It takes me like a second to read what I'd written. I always write it in my own handwriting because I remember it faster. For some reason, if it's just typed out, I'll actually have to read the whole thing. But I find that when I use my own handwriting, it's quicker for me to just sort of take a snapshot of what this says, and then I know everything it says, if that makes any sense. So I limit this to about 30 cards, and it's just some things that I want to keep in mind for the day. It's not always the same. I'll change them out. I'll make new ones. I'll add this to my my note card file when I'm done, because these are all from books or just ideas I've had while reading books. And I found that this really helps me to keep on track, to make sure that I keep moving forward every single day, even if it's just a little bit. And yeah, so definitely I would recommend that. Like, you don't have to have like 30. You can just use like one card and just write maybe 3 things on it that you want to keep in mind for the day, something that's going to prepare you for the day, help you to overcome even like the smallest, tiniest little hiccups that might come up. It's really good to have some sort of reminder or some sort of encouragement that prepares you for that. Because when you're prepared for something to happen, like I know I'm going to want to turn on the TV and I'm going to want to watch something. But if I can prepare myself first thing in the morning for that coming up, I'll be able to stay focused on my work longer. It doesn't mean I'm not going to turn on the TV and watch my show, right? But it just means that I'm going to recognize that action for what it is, as a distraction, as something trying to pull me away from my work. And then I'm going to be able to focus on my work for longer. And then when I do get to turn on my show and, you know, just binge watch something, I am more present with that. It's more enjoyable. I don't feel like there's something pulling at me that I should be doing, but I'm really doing this. So definitely I would recommend some morning cards, I call them, and that's going to help you to prepare for the day. And I just keep them in this pouch so that I don't overdo it. I don't want to have like 100 cards to look through, right? Like I just want to keep it simple, maybe down to a few minutes a day. And so I keep that in here. Then I have probably the 2 most transformative books that I've probably ever read. And it's called, the titles are The 4 Agreements. This is by Miguel Ruiz. It's a Toltec book. Just a warning, this is very, I guess, spiritually inspired. It draws a lot from a more spiritual type of philosophy, but these are very, very practical agreements. So the 4 agreements are very simple, and they're right here on the front cover of the book. It's be impeccable with your word, meaning say what you mean. Don't criticize, don't judge other people, don't spread negative feelings with your words. Don't take anything personally. So that means anything that is good, you don't take it personally. Anything that's bad, don't take it personally. Because what people do is really just a reflection of themselves. Just like what we do ourselves is a reflection of ourselves. So whenever somebody's angry at you, or even when they praise you, it's really more about them and their experience and their feelings. So don't take any of it personally. Don't get a big head because people are giving you accolades and praise, right? And then don't get too down on yourself and affected by negative comments either. Then the 3rd agreement is don't make assumptions. This is one that I learned very young. And anytime you assume, you are agreeing that something is true. So this is more about communication, more about say you're getting like a bad vibe from your best friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or wife, and you make up sort of things that are happening to you and how it might be your fault or how they're doing something to hurt you, and you haven't really communicated with them about what it might be that's bothering them. And of course it ties into don't take anything personally as well. And then the 4th agreement is always do your best. And it's no matter what you do, like your best is going to vary. When you're not feeling good, your best isn't as good. When you're really busy and there's so much stuff for you to do, your best isn't going to be as good. But if you always do your best with whatever resources you have, whatever time you have, whatever energy, mood, inspiration, motivation that you have, so long you are always doing your best, you're going to progress. You're going to get better. You're going to be more fulfilled, and you're not going to have regret because, you know, you did your best with what you had at that time. And when something like that comes up again, whatever it may be, you've learned from that experience, and you're going to do better with less time, less effort, less energy, less inspiration, right? So always, always, always do your best, no matter how badly you feel. If you are doing your best, you can always feel good about what you did. And it might not be perfect, it might be wrong, but that's not the point. The point is that you did the best that you could with what you had, right? So those are the 4 agreements. I highly recommend this book. There are a lot of spiritual references in here, but you can always sort of change the wording in your mind. You know, you can replace God with the universe, or the universe with God, whatever makes you feel more comfortable, more authentic, more connected to, or open, I should say, whatever makes you feel more open to what this book has to offer. I would look at it through that lens. But I have this book in my mini office. I read it every day. I thumb through it. Sometimes I'll just open it and just, you know, let whatever page that it opens to sort of speak to me, and I'll use this to write in my journal, or maybe I'll take some notes on a card, or I'll just sort of keep it in mind. And speaking of journaling, and I think this is why this is flagged here, for example, one of the things he talks about is, you know, part of the mind is speaking and the other part is listening. And so for me, that really means it really helps me when I journal, because, you know, part of me is talking through my journal, right? And then the other part of me is listening. And maybe at that time I'm listening, maybe I'm reading as I'm writing and I'm listening, or maybe it's later on in the future when I'm reading over what I had written and then I'm listening. And so it really helps me to understand that, you know, journaling isn't really just, you know, today I watered the garden or you know, like, just not just like a list of events that kind of gets boring. It helps me to recognize that at some point I will be listening to the words that I'm saying, and that I will have ideas, I will have insights, I will be able to solve problems. And so maybe I'm talking about watering the garden, but then the part of me that's listening is thinking about, in what other ways can I water the garden? How can I grow things? How can I plant things today that I can nurture and tend to and grow for tomorrow? So it might be something pretty mundane, as like we've watered the plants, right? But then later on, the part of you that's listening is going to make a connection between this sort of mundane thing that you've said that you've done, to how can this action, this idea, this concept help you in moving forward in your life. Okay. Anyway, I went off on a tangent there, but definitely I recommend the 4 Agreements. I read this every day. The War of Art. This is by Pressfield. This book, if you are trying to do anything, and if you're watching this video, you probably are trying to do something. The story of this book is, I heard about it on a podcast over 10 years ago. I mean, I don't even remember the first time I've heard this book, and I read it and it made 0 impact on me. It really did. It like nothing. I read it and I was fine and didn't change anything. And then I came across it again. You know, it popped up in my YouTube search algorithm, right? Or recommendations. And it was an interview with Pressfield. And I was like, this sounds, it sounds familiar, because I knew I had read it before. I'm like, this sounds a little bit different than what I remember. And so I picked it up again and I read it again, and I was like, oh my God, This is everything I've been struggling with. And so the War of Art will teach you how to overcome procrastination, how to overcome, how to get even more time in your day. One of the things he talks about, or he says, which really sort of hooked me, and there's a lot. This whole book is incredible, but he says here, like, are you a writer who doesn't write, a painter who doesn't paint, an entrepreneur who never starts a venture, right? And so there's this idea that you are this artist, you are a writer, you are a coach, you are a consultant, you are a marketing specialist, you are an entrepreneur, you're a businesswoman, you're a businessman. But are you doing those things? Are you a coach that doesn't coach? Are you a consultant that doesn't consult? Are you a businesswoman with no business? That question really spoke to me. Like, you can be both those things. You can be the businesswoman without a business. You can be the coach who doesn't coach. And it just means that there's a space between who you are and what you do. And bridging that space is all you need to do to get everything that you want, to get not everything that you want, but everything that the world is meant to get from you, right? So the things that we put out into this world are important. They're not random, they're not noise. It's important. There's someone who needs to hear what you have to say, who needs that coaching program you've been thinking about for months, maybe for years. Somebody who needs that book you want to write, somebody who needs to hear the story you've been dying to tell, and you just haven't had the courage to put it out there where that person will be able to find it. And so this book will help you get unstuck all the time, every time, from any situation, from any challenge that you're going through. This book is it. And I also read through this every morning. I'll a lot of my morning cards are based on the War of Art, and it's because he talks about resistance. It keeps you from doing the things that you're meant to do, and everybody has it, everybody experiences it, everybody struggles with it, and it's just a matter of how do you overcome it. And the short answer is you take action. But it's really important to recognize sort of the symptoms of resistance so that you can combat it every single day, because you will. Resistance comes in many, many, many forms. It comes in forms that look like good things, forms that look like bad things. But being able to recognize sort of the enemy, as he calls it, is extremely important to battle that resistance, to get that coaching program done, to get your website done, to write that blog post, to send that email newsletter, to take that next step in your business. And I highly, highly recommend The War of Art by Steven Pressfield. So these are the two things I read every morning. It's in here. Again, I went off on a tangent, but I think it's incredibly important. These two books are very important. Now, I have just one more thing in here, and this is my analog Zettelkasten. And Zettelkasten right now, if you look it up online, it's really about digital tools and using apps like Obsidian or Roam to sort of linking your thinking type of thing, where everything has a link, a backlink, and a tag so that you can find it later. And Zettelkasten was originated as an analog system, and so it's really just note cards. And I won't get into it too much today, and really this is really just the beginning. I will probably end up having a lot more cards than this, but it's really about taking notes on the things you see, hear, read, and connecting it to maybe your life experiences or through whatever lens that you have. So if you're reading books or listening to podcasts or watching YouTube videos or taking classes, you want to capture the ideas that you get from that type of media that you're consuming, and even popular entertainment. There's inspiration everywhere. Everything we ever watch has some sort of lesson or a moral attached to it that it's trying to teach you. And if you can capture that and then use it in your work, you'll be able to relate to more people, and you'll be able to access more of your own mind that about your own experiences, your own lessons that you've learned in your life. And just having a little bit of a cue or a prompt to help you is going to help you write more blog posts. It's going to help you create that podcast episode. It's going to help you flesh out that module in your course that you're going to make. And just by capturing just a little bit of the things you see and hear and read about every day. Okay, and so I have that in this pouch here. Again, it's really small. I'm just sort of starting. I have a digital version of this, but I'm learning that analog can be a lot more powerful for a lot of reasons. So I decided to keep at least the most important things by hand. Now back to the actual subject of this video. I'm gonna take this out for a sec. And I'm gonna show you the rest of what's in here. So on the left side of this pocket, I have just a Post-it note pad there. I have like this little ruler. It's one of those like sewing rulers. I just have it in here because it's small, just to measure things. I have a date stamp. This is for my journal. I have some flags. This is just to mark some pages in my journal. And I have glue stick. On this side I have this little, it's actually a gift card case like from a long time ago for Christmas. And in it I have like a bunch of Post-it page flags, or I don't know if these are Post-it brand, but page flags here, some tabs here, and I keep that on the side pocket here. And then in the front of this pocket, I like this because it has like a little mesh pocket here. This is sort of like my mail center. So when I check the mail and process the mail, this is one of those ID roller stamps, so you can like black out your address or whatever. Sort Quick, Sort Quick is your best friend. If you go through a lot of paperwork like I do, Sort Quick is awesome. Definitely a must-have. So I have a bunch of these, but I have one in here for when I'm sort of doing this, wherever I am. I have lip balm because my lips are always dry, and I have my letter opener here. This is super cheap. These are the best ones. This is super cheap. It's really sharp. I think it's like 79 cents at Walmart. So if you don't have one, or if you're using scissors or just ripping open your envelopes, get one of these next time you're at Walmart. It's definitely worth it. It's so much faster and cleaner. And then I have just like a little emery board because I'm always getting like some sort of hangnail or something, like chipped nail there. That's super irritating. And so I just have that in there so that I can always just file that down so it doesn't get caught in my hair, on my clothes, everywhere, right? And so this is sort of like my mail center / personal care area. And that's it. That's everything that's in my mini office here. Mini office, portable office. I got this idea from Organized Like Jen long time ago, and I've had some version of it ever since for many years. Often it's been smaller, like I've had it in this case before where it was just a couple things, a couple pens and like a notepad, and I just was able to take this wherever I was, but I sort of needed more space for some things that I wanted to tend to every day, like the books. I wanted to make sure that I was keeping in mind for the day that's going to help me get my work done, help me be more productive. And I wanted to be able to have that in a place that I could take it with me. So what I do is in the morning, when I wake up, pretty much as soon as I wake up, this is by my side, by the side of my bed, and I will pick it up, I will put it on the bed, I'll open this up, and then I'll start going through the books and see if there's anything that sparks an idea for me. If I wake up with something sort of on my mind, then I'll just go straight to my journal and I'll start journaling. And then I will go through my morning cards, and then I'll look at my planner for the day and see what's coming up. I'll check my Google Calendar, I'll check my planner, I'll check the last few days in my journal to see if there's anything that like any notes that I scribbled down from like maybe a phone call I had or an email that I saw that I just wanted to jot down some notes. And then after that, I will look at my Tickler and just see if there's, what do I have to keep in mind for today? And it sounds like a lot, but it really doesn't take me long. Of course, the journaling part takes the longest. I usually write about 3 pages every day. It's not a goal that I have, it's just kind of what happens. And that maybe takes me 20 minutes, half an hour. Looking through the books, like 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes maybe. My morning cards, 3 to 5 minutes at the most. Usually these two will be done together. So I'll probably spend about 5 minutes total on going through the books and reading my morning cards. And then checking my Tickler file. It's really like not even 1 minute. It's like 15 seconds. It's really fast. And that's it. So this is what I use to keep myself organized in my house. I don't have a big house. I live in a small apartment, but I noticed that I was sort of picking up all these little things and having to keep standing up and grab something, and then I don't put it away when I'm done, and it's just leaving it out. And so I found that using the portable office here has been a really, really big help for me. Now, I do want to tell you, well, this is my journal, if you're curious. It's a hand-bound journal. I bound it myself. I'm not a bookbinder by any means, but it's very, it's a huge journal. I think there's like, let's see, there's over 400 pages in this journal, 430 pages in this journal, and I bound it myself. This is just regular printer paper. It's not even high quality printer paper. It's like 22 pound or something. I have my planner in here, and it's just sort of, it's on here. You see, like, I just even have like the strings all hanging out on this journal. I really did not do any finishing touches to it. But I have my planner in here. I can move it around because it's not bound into the book. Sometimes I do bind it into the book. It just depends. But this is my planner. It's actually my own design. I use these blocks for time blocking, and that really helps me to get an idea of where my time is going and how much time I have to fit in some smaller type things that I want to do. And then I just sort of use this area, like sometimes I use it for the day, and then this bottom area, so you can see like I'm running out of ink in my printer, and I mean, I don't care because I'm just gonna write over it anyway. So like there's normally lines that go all the way down here. It's not a big deal to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be practical for me. What I do is I just take notes throughout the day here, but then my journal is definitely in this area. I will just, write until I run out of things to say. Sometimes, like I said, I'll use a prompt from the book or use the books as a prompt. Sometimes I'll just start writing and just see sort of what comes out. And I do this every single day. Even if it's just really short. And I do it first thing in the morning because if I wait, I'm not gonna do it. So I'll do it first thing in the morning. Sometimes maybe I'll only take 5 minutes and just write like, I'm really tired this morning, can't get out of the bed, it's like overcast, and I'm really not looking forward to today. You know, something like just like very real about what's going on with me if I'm not feeling like any deep thoughts coming. And then other mornings I'll wake up and I'll have like these amazing insights that come to me just when I sit down and write in my journal. And I write in bed. I might turn on a light, depends what time it is, but I don't do anything fancy. I don't do anything like, I don't have a ritual where, you know, I light a candle and get a glass of water and I don't do that. I just like write first thing, and then I don't worry about it. So anyway, so this is my book, my journal. It's a Chic Sparrow, if you're curious. So these two things sort of go with me throughout the day. And again, my phone fits right in here, and I love that. That's like actually the reason why I got this. And this little bag thing, I think it was like 15 bucks on Amazon. But definitely use what you have first. Use what you have first, because you don't want to go and buy something and then it doesn't work for you, or you don't find you're using it. And I would, as a suggestion, I would just put things in it that you're normally sort of reaching for throughout the day and start there. So you don't need to, you probably don't need everything that I have in here. Even I don't need everything I have in here, but these are things that I'm sort of just looking for, wasting my time looking for, and I wanted to keep it all in one spot. And again, like I have this big bag because there's a couple books that I wanted to carry with me. I know I went off on some tangents there, but I hope that you got some insight. Again, I definitely recommend the two books, The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz and The War of Art by Pressfield. And take from it what you will. Use what works for you. What doesn't work for you, just discard it. So definitely revisit your book lists, or, you know, check out the books you have on Kindle, or if you have physical books, you know, go dig out the books that you read like when you're in high school or something, and just see like maybe there's something in there that will really speak to you now that didn't speak to you before. All right, so I hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.